Picture this. You wake up on a random Tuesday. No alarm, no boss, no emails, no meetings, just coffee, silence, and the quiet thought in your head that says, I've got $450,000 saved. Do I actually need to work ever again? If you're sitting there, running the numbers in your head, wondering if you could finally step off the treadmill and just be done, yeah, this video is for you, because a lot of people are asking this exact question right now, and most of them are doing the math wrong. Introduction. My name is Jack, and I spend way too much time thinking about living on $450,000 in savings and never working again. If you're someone who is living on $450,000 in savings and never working again, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Now look, this is not one of those hype videos where I tell you 450 grand is more than enough if you just manifest hard enough. And it's also not a doom video where I say you're crazy for even thinking about it. Here's the thing. The truth sits right in the middle. And once you actually understand the math and the psychology behind this, it gets really interesting. Challenging the big assumption. Most people start with one assumption. I have $450,000. If I only spend $25,000 a year, I'm good. That sounds reasonable. It feels safe. It also ignores how money actually behaves over time. Here's what most people don't realize. The question is not, can I survive this year? The question is, what happens over the next 30 or 40 years when inflation, market cycles, health costs, and human behavior all show up at the same time? Because they will. The basic math. Everyone starts with. Let's do the simple version first. You have $450,000 in savings. You want to live on it forever. A common rule people reference is the 4% rule. It comes from historical market data and says that if you withdraw around 4% of your portfolio each year, adjusted for inflation, your money has a strong chance of lasting 30 years or more. 4% of $450,000 is $18,000 a year. That's $1,500 a month. Now pause for a second. Can you live on $1,500 a month long term? Some people can. Most people can't. And almost nobody can do it comfortably without stress. Now you might be thinking, okay, Jack, but what if I push it to 5%? 5% gives you $22,500 a year. That's about $1,875 a month. Better, still tight. And this is where psychology kicks in. The psychology nobody talks about. When people imagine early retirement, they picture freedom, travel, peace, no pressure. What they don't picture is the mental load of watching your savings drop during a bad market year while you have zero income coming in. According to Vanguard data, during major downturns like 2008 or 2020, balanced portfolios drop between 20 and 30% in a short period of time. If your $450,000 drops to $320,000 on paper and you're still pulling money out to live, your brain does not care about long-term averages. Your brain panics. This is why so many people fail early retirement experiments. Not because the math was impossible, but because the stress was unbearable. Inflation changes everything. Here's another uncomfortable truth. Inflation quietly destroys plans that look perfect on paper. Historically, inflation in the U.S. averages around 3% per year. That means prices double roughly every 24 years. So if you can live on $2,000 a month today, you'll need closer to $4,000 a month later in life just to maintain the same standard of living. This is where it gets really interesting. Your spending goes up with age, not down. Healthcare, convenience, support, comfort. That $450,000 has to fight all of that. Now, let's talk strategy, not fantasy. So does this mean you can never stop working with $450,000? No, that's the wrong takeaway. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't need to earn a full salary to make this work. You just need to reduce the pressure on your savings. Let me show you why. The power of partial income. Imagine you live on $30,000 a year. If your investments safely generate $18,000 to $22,000, you only need $8,000 to $12,000 from somewhere else. That's $700 to $1,000 a month. That could be part-time work, freelance, consulting, online income, even seasonal work. This changes everything psychologically and mathematically. You stop selling shares aggressively. Your money has time to recover after downturns. Your stress drops. This is the difference between barely surviving and actually enjoying your life. Asset allocation matters more than people think. Another mistake people make is parking all $450,000 in cash or ultra-safe accounts. Cash feels safe. It's not. After inflation, cash loses purchasing power every year. Historically, a diversified portfolio with stocks and bonds has significantly outpaced inflation over long periods. According to data from Morningstar, portfolios with 60% stocks and 40% bonds have survived multiple market cycles with reasonable withdrawal rates. The goal is not to avoid volatility. The goal is to survive it. Sequence of returns risk. Here's a concept that sounds boring but can ruin everything. Sequence of returns risk. It means the order of your investment returns matters more than the average. If you retire into a bad market and withdraw heavily early on, you permanently damage your portfolio. This is why flexibility is everything. If markets are down, you spend less or earn a bit. If markets are strong, you relax. Rigid plans break. Flexible ones survive. Addressing the big objection. Now you might be thinking, Jack, I don't want to work at all. That's the whole point. I get it, truly. But here's the reframe. This is not about working forever. It's about buying control. When you remove the pressure to earn a full income, work becomes optional, selective, and temporary. You work on your terms. That's real freedom. A realistic example. Let's put it all together. You have $450,000 invested. You withdraw $20,000 a year. You earn $10,000 a year doing something light and flexible. Your effective withdrawal rate drops to around 2%. At that level, historically, portfolios don't just survive. They often grow. This gives you margin. Margin is what keeps you calm when life throws surprises. The emotional side of money. Money is not just math, it's emotion. The biggest risk is not running out of money. It's making bad decisions under stress. Selling at the bottom, hoarding cash, abandoning your plan. A smaller withdrawal rate buys you emotional stability, and that is priceless. Actionable steps. You can apply now. First, calculate your true minimum lifestyle cost, not fantasy, reality. Second, stress test your plan with bad years, not average ones. Third, build at least one small income stream that gives you flexibility. Fourth, invest for growth, not comfort. And finally, design your life around adaptability, not perfection. The big picture. $450,000 is not a magic number, it's a tool. Used poorly, it disappears slowly and painfully. Used wisely, it buys time, freedom, and control. You don't need to be reckless. You don't need to be scared. You need to be realistic. Closing motivation and call to action. If you're thinking about living off your savings and stepping away from traditional work, you're already ahead of most people. The key is doing it with intention, flexibility, and discipline. If this helped you see the situation more clearly, subscribe to the channel. I post videos breaking down money decisions like this in a way that actually makes sense. And if you want more content on building wealth without burning out, stick around.